OG, so Shannon. How do you feel about him signing with Baltimore's practice squad?
Skip, I'm extremely happy for Dez. It shows me that he really wants to play. I think they had him in, and they said, look, we need you to be in a little better shape. And it looks like he went home, he worked, got in better shape, and they brought him back and says, hey, now, they could use Dez. They have the worst receiving core as far as production with catches and yards and touchdowns and things of that nature, Skip. So maybe Dez is a person that could help them out immensely. And in order for them to go to ultimately where they need to be, Skip, they're going to have to throw the football. Yeah, we know they can run it. But what happens when you don't have the lead? And you got to throw it. And we've seen over the last couple of years, Lamar Jackson gets to the playoffs, they fall behind, and he's unable to bring them back throwing the football. And so hopefully Dez, I don't know what Dez has left. You're asking an awful lot, Skip. A guy that hadn't played in a long period of time, who was never a burner to begin with, suffers an Achilles injury. And so we don't know what we're going to get. This is uncharted territory. We haven't seen anything like this. Basically, he's Josh Gordon, but Josh Gordon was 4 to 5 years younger when he returned than what Dez is currently. And Josh Gordon didn't have the injury that Dez. It was just, you know, we know Josh Gordon's story. So I'm happy for him, Skip, that he's willing to start at the bottom and to work his way back and says, all I want was an opportunity. You got my foot in the door. Because remember, Skip, they tried to sign Dez immediately after he got released. And he said no. It turns down 3 years, $21 million to come back. Baltimore. To come back and basically take a $12,000 a week job.
Wow.
I'm happy for him. Hopefully it works out.
Ditto. When I read his tweet last night that ends with, I can't stop crying, it nearly brought a tear to my eye because this still young man, he's 31, he has suffered. He went from the top of the mountain. In 2014, he put up one of those years that you look back on and say, that was a year.
Right.
He dominated this league in 2014, led it in touchdown catches. Whew. First team All-Pro, and I'm on TV every day. I'm throwing up the X.
Every Sunday.
Right?
Every Monday morning, you coming in throwing up the X.
And that year obviously ended in Green Bay, in which Dez caught it.
They finally didn't catch one.
Just for posterity, could we see it one more time? Yes! He caught it, and he ran with it, and he slammed it on the goal line with his left hand like a running back would, and the ref on the spot raised his hands to say, touchdown, until it went to replay review. That's a touchdown.
Upon further review.
Upon further review, it's not a catch, said somebody in New York, I guess. That's a touchdown. Caught it, ran with it, slammed it on the goal line. Complete control. It bobbled even as he hit the ground, and it came up on top of him, so it never touched the ground after he slammed it on the ground. This is as much of a catch as you will ever see. That's a catch. He ran 2 strides with it and had such control in his left hand because he's left-handed. He slammed it on the goal line. That's how I will remember Dez Bryant, because my team would have won that game and gone on to Seattle, where they had won in the regular season, and they just might have beaten those Seahawks again and gotten to the Super Bowl. They would have run into Tom Brady. That would have been another
story. And called a buzzsaw, so no.
Yep, okay, I got that. But that was really the height of Dez Bryant. And what was he best at? He had incredible all-time rapport with Tony Romo. They loved each other because Tony liked to just throw it up for grabs.
Yes.
And the one guy who could go up and grab it the most was this guy.
Yep.
Wasn't the fastest, but he was big and strong and powerful, and he could leap and play basketball and high point you and beat your brains out. He did make the Pro Bowl in Dak's first year, so I give him that, but the numbers are about half of what he did in 2014.
Correct.
Jerry paid him after 2014, and he earned it.
Yes.
He got, what, 5 years, $70 million.
Right.
Whew. And then Jerry came to regret it because he began to fall apart. He had a Jones fracture. He had this and that and the other, and he had no chemistry at all with Dak, and they fell apart. And pretty soon he's out. And then he's out of the league, and to your point, he has an Achilles tear. And it did my heart good. Just, what was it, a couple of months ago, we saw the video of him catching off-season passes in that workout facility in Fort Worth from your homeboy.
Yep.
Because Patrick Mahomes still has high regard for what Dez Bryant used to be,
right.
what he achieved in this league. So, again, do I think he could contribute for the Ravens? Well, not much contribution there. They're 31st ranked in passing.
Yeah, 189 yards a game, maybe in the 50s, 60s, 70s. Even early 90s, I mean, that was good enough. You had a sound running game, could play defense. But not in today's game. In today's game, Skip, you need a guy because it's going to come a time that says, okay, we're not going to let you run the football, and in order to beat us, you're going to have to throw yourself to a victory. And right now, what concerns me is Lamar going to advance enough because he's going to have to trust that he's going to put the ball up and Dez can come down with it.
I agree.
That's what it's going to come down to. It's all about trust.
And mostly red zone trust.
Yes.
Because Dez can still do that. Maybe some third down possession receptions. But I'm rooting for him.
I am too, Skip.
And by the way, on December the 3rd, the Dallas Cowboys visit the Baltimore Ravens. So just for Dez's sake and our sake, because it'd be fun to watch.
They're going to run for 400 yards on y'all.
Here we go.
Y'all just gave up 200 plus yards to Washington. You gave up 300 yards to Cleveland.
307 rushing.
Oh, y'all better give up 400 to the Ravens.
Maybe they won't need Dez that night, right?
What you call going to be the first quarterback to rush for 200 yards, Lamar? To rush for 200 yards on y'all.
You could be right, and I can't even argue that.
I hope it does work out for him. Okay, guys, LeBron has had a lot of famous dunks, but one is still haunting. An NBA champ 7 years later. We'll explain next.
He's in New England.
Coach Belichick.
Thank you.
He let the cupboard get bare. Skip, but it's also important to realize, and I know Peter King very well. Had the New England Patriots offered Tom Brady a contract, Tom Brady would have taken his butt right back to New England.
I'm with you.
So this notion that
I got it.
So this notion that Tom Brady could not wait to get out of New England is not true. Had they offered him a contract, I'm not talking about after he had already talked to Bruce Arians and Todd and Jason Light and had gotten says, okay, yes, we will accept you. These are the parameters of a contract. We give you 2 years, $50 million guarantee. No. I'm saying if they had offered him a contract, Tom Brady, with that cupboard bare, would still be in New England. That is factual. That's not no hypothetical. That's not no, I'm not sure. Yes, he would have. He wanted to finish his career. He wanted to play one place. When that was not on the table, he says, okay, let me go out here and see what else I can find. And he found the perfect situation. A team that had young, talented wide receivers, an up-and-coming defense that if you didn't put them in harm's way 5-6 times a game, they could be really good. And that's what he got.
And a head coach who is fun to play for.
And a coach that's offensive-minded. Because he, like I said, for 20 years, his coach was a defensive-minded coach. So, Skip, for me, I don't really know how much better they would be with Tom Brady in New England for the simple fact. The first 8 games last year, Skip, they were giving up less than 8 points a game.
And then what happened?
The bottom fell out.
At Baltimore on a Sunday night, it fell out. It kept falling the rest of the year.
And so what that told me is that when that defense did not hold a team to 17 points or fewer, they were 0-5, even with Tom Brady. So as long as they were holding teams under 8 points, Tom could get to a magic number, and they were fine. When they couldn't hold a team to 17 points, they lost those games. So I'm not so sure how much different they would be with Tom, considering the cupboard is as bare as it is, and the defense is playing as poor as it is, and it's being floated around, Skip, that they're trying to move Stephon Gilmore.
What?
Now,
he's simply by far the best player on your team, not just on defense, on your team.
But what is he also? He's 30. And what also did he do? He asked for more money. Coach Belichick, Tom Brady ain't never come in and ask for no money. So everything, that's what Coach Belichick do. He measures everything by what Tom did. Tom ain't asked for no money. And when Tom asked for a little bit more money, they said, you know what? We begrudgingly, here's a little $8 million signing bonus, but you got to get up out of here now. And that's what so 30 years old, you look at Logan Mankins, you look at Richard Seymour, you look at Lawyer Malloy, you look at all the guys. And what did Coach Belichick do? Once they get to a certain age, Coach Belichick is trying to sell high. What you give me for it?
Okay. So, what word have I used to you several times on the show dating back to the Eagles versus Patriots?
Sabotage.
Sabotage. I'm going to use it again. I'm going to suggest it again. And I don't know this for a fact. I'm looking at it from a distance. But what